Okay.
The world is changing, and we all know it. From a dry August to absence of mist in November and December to a hot December, all in the same year. We all know what December used to look like, and I trust you will agree with me that this December is a little bit weird also to see. But why? Why is the world changing? The answer is not more obvious than the problem. Mr. Nasir, Mrs. Shoma, Mrs. Faith, ladies and gentlemen, good morning to you all. I'm by name Aisha Abdurrahman, and here with me are
Asiya Muhammad Abdullahi,
Aisha Yusuf Odo,
Khadija Saleh.
According to Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change (IPCC), the United Nations, UN, and several other stakeholders, if we do not shift our current level of reducing CO2 emissions, according to Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change (IPCC), the United Nations, UN, and several other stakeholders, if we do not shift our current level of reducing CO2 emissions drastically by more than 50%, the world will experience more than any other time problems such as extreme weather, food supply disruption, respiratory diseases, global warming, etc. This is a very bad news, but what is even worse is that we cannot achieve the global vision of reducing CO2 emissions as stipulated by Kyoto Protocol, SDGs, and even PI bills in Nigeria. Fossil fuel is an enemy and also a friend. It saw us move from an underdeveloped world to an outstanding age of information, science, technology, and industries. But every advantage has its disadvantage, and the disadvantage of this rapid global development is that we got to live in a world full of energy pollution, full of respiratory diseases, full of greenhouse gases, and arguably full of corona.
The major greenhouse gases that develop our world are CO2, nitrous oxide, methane, and industrial gases such as chlorofluorocarbon, sulfur hexafluoride, and nitrogen oxide. Carbon dioxide is the primary greenhouse gas responsible for about 3/4 of emission. It can linger in the atmosphere for thousands of years. Carbon dioxide in 2018, carbon dioxide emission level reached 411 parts per million at Hawaii's Mallalode atmospheric baseline observatory. Carbon, the highest monthly average record ever recorded. Carbon dioxide emission for most part come from non-renewable energy sources such as coal, petroleum, among other solid waste.
Since we cannot go back to use of firewood as our fuel because one, it has a high dose of CO2, and two, because cutting and burning of trees is not a good idea as far as afforestation is concerned. The solution is to look at other sources of energy. Wind, solar, biomass look promising. In our quest to solve the global problem, my team have designed ABC or Al-iman briquette code. ABC is a field made from rice husks and straws, which is molded into shapes. It is intended to be a partial or total replacement of coal, charcoal in ships, trains, domestic use, and also boilers of electricity generation plants.
Making ABC is quite easy. First, ground biomass. In our case, our biomass is rice straws and rice husks. Then mixed with binders such as cement or starch. Binder is necessary because biomass cannot stick together on its own. Then cast into mold or mold with hand to have favorable shape. Then allow it to dry to ensure burning. Wise people say, you cannot change the direction of the wind, but we can adjust ourselves. Since we cannot change how the world responds to our emission, it follows that the most logical thing to do is to adjust ourselves by avoiding fossil fuel or excess of it. ABC is not only from renewable energy sources, but it is also reliable and from recyclable sources. Like we always say, if we don't take care of our environment, who will? Thank you all for listening.